Good morning, class. Today we will start a new lesson. Lesson number 6. I will tell you a story of a man who was called by God to make a difference. You will find his story in your Bible, Genesis chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8, and chapter 9. This is the story of a man called Noah, who built a wonderful boat. It was very large, over 140 meters long, and took a long time to build. Noah and his 3 sons, who were called Shem, Ham, and Japheth, built it together out of woods. They cut down tall trees from which they cut beams and planks. Though there was lots of room for many people, only Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives planted to go on the ship. We have come across Noahic covenant in lesson number 1, but we did not really go through the story of what happened and how did God make covenant with Noah. But in this lesson, we will talk about how God made covenant with Noah and why Noahic covenant came under God's covenant. Sometimes when the 4 men were working, other people will come to have a look at the big ship. When they saw it, they would laugh and make fun of Noah and his 3 sons. "You can't sail with that ship," they shouted. "Can't you see it's standing on dry ground? How can you move such a huge boat to the water?" "The water will come here," said Noah. "There will be water everywhere over the entire earth. God has said so. He will punish people because they have become so wicked and will no longer obey him. Everyone who wasn't in the ark when the water comes will drown." When the people heard this, they laughed even louder. "Don't laugh," said Noah. "Listen and ask God to forgive you for your disobedience. Then you too may come into the ark." The people thought this was very funny indeed. They laughed and laughed and laughed. They shouted, "We are not going to pray to God. Let the water come. We are not afraid." The people on the earth had become very bad and didn't seem afraid of punishment. They behaved as though they could do whatever they wanted. In fact, they acted as though there was no God at all. The Lord had often warned them, but they didn't care. He had been very patient with them, and because they would not listen to him, they would be punished. This is why God had told Noah to build the ark. Noah loved the Lord, and neither he nor his wife and children will be punished. God told Noah exactly how he was to build the ark. There was to be a door here, a window there, and inside there were to be many little rooms. There was to be a good roof over the entire ark, and all the cracks between the planks were to be filled with thick tar so that no water could sweep in. For a long time the people could hear hammering and sawing from early morning until late at night. The people laughed and joked about the boat and wouldn't listen to Noah warning the great flood that was to come. One day the hammering stopped and the saws were silent. The huge ark was ready. Then God told Noah that he had to put animals, male and female, 2 by 2, into the ark. They all went into the ark, big and small, each into pens where there was food waiting for them. The people saw all this and wondered what was happening, but they still wouldn't listen until it was too late. Noah and his family went into the ark, and the door was closed. For a week the ark stood waiting, and then the rains came. First, the sun disappeared as heavy clouds drifted across the sky. It became as dark as night, and then it began to rain. Never before had it rained so much. It poured, splashed, and streamed down the ground without stopping. The big ship stood in the darkness as the rain ran off the roof and streamed down the side. Soon the water around the ark got deep and deeper until it floated. Then the wind pushed it along and it began to sail. But where was it going? Noah and the people in the boat didn't know. But the Lord knew, and he steered the boat across the water. It continued to rain, and the water rose higher and higher on the earth. First of all, houses disappeared, then the trees, until finally even the highest mountains were covered. Only life left with Noah's ark, apart from the fish in the sea. Everything else had drowned. God drove the dark clouds away, and it stopped raining. Once again the sun began to shine. Nowhere was the earth to be seen. There was only a big deep sea. 8 people on the ark were not afraid because they knew that God would take good care of them. Someday they would all live on earth again. For a long time the ark sailed on. Then, without warning, it hit something with a bang and could not go further. It had come to rest on the high mountain, and there it was to stay until the earth was dry again. The water was slowly going down, and soon Noah could see the tops of the other mountains. Noah could hardly stand the long wait. It took such a long time for the water to go down. One day he went to the room in which the birds were roosting, took a big black raven to the window and set it free. The raven which Noah set free was very happy to be out of the ark and didn't return at the end of the day. Already there was enough food on the water for it to live. Then Noah let a dove out of the ark. All day long the dove flew back and forth looking for little seeds to eat, but there weren't any seeds to be found. And when evening came, the dove was very tired and flew back to the ship. It was too soon for the dove to be able to live on the earth. When Noah saw the dove, he put his hand out to the window and brought it back into the ark. Noah waited for a week before he sent the dove out again. Once more it returned to the boat, but this time it brought something with it. The dove brought back a leaf from a tree. It seemed to Noah as though the dove was trying to tell him, "Look, Noah, it wouldn't be long now. The trees are already out of the water." Noah waited for another week, and when he freed the dove for the third time, it did not come back. It had found food and could now live on earth too. Then Noah opened the door of the ark and waited for God to speak. Finally, the Lord said, "Now you may leave the ark with your wife and children and all the animals." Noah brought an offering to the Lord. When the smoke rose to heaven, Noah and his family knelt down. and thank God for caring for them during the flood. God saw the offering and saw how pleased and thankful they were. The Lord promised that He would never again send such a great flood to the earth. He said, "When it rains, you do not have to be afraid that I will destroy the whole world. If you look up, you will see something. See my rainbow in the sky. I will also see it, and it will be a sign that the world will never again be drowned with flood." This is how God made covenant with Noah, and this covenant is called Noahic covenant. God called Noah to be a different among many people when people were wicked, disobedient, and sinning against God. Dear students, you may wonder how we can make a difference like Noah did. Well, it is simple. We just have to obey God, trust Him, and do what is right even when people laugh at us. By doing the right thing, we will make the difference towards the call of God.